Ever since we introduced DataHub WebView version 1 in January of 2011, we've always had a mechanism to set a start page, but it's only been recently that we have provided the ability to customize that start page based on a user ID. And in this video blog, I'm going to summarize the different techniques to set a start page. And here they are. And each of the first three affects all users. So we can use the DataHub WebView configuration properties screen, change a URL, or use an init param setting. I'm just going to start by walking through each of those so you know what I mean. And then after I've shown you that one, I'm going to introduce this new technique, which is available in DataHub WebView version 1.4, which allows us to set a start page based upon the specific user. And we do that by using script inside the application user changed event. Here is my DataHub WebView.asp URL, and I'm just going to start by logging in as the as admin. And right now I have no start page set, so of course it takes me to design mode and just gives me a blank screen. Well, I'm going to change that by going to DataHub WebView configuration panel, and on the WebView tab I'm going to choose a couple options. I'm going to indicate that I want to start in run mode and kiosk mode. Of course I could choose to disable design mode, but I also want to indicate that I would like to load the start page at startup. So of course when I hit apply on that and now come back and refresh my browser window, you'll notice that it will take me not only into run mode and not only into kiosk view, but it also loads the start page. And there I can see that I'm in kiosk view. I don't have my menu bar and my toolbar, but it loaded the start page. The other approach that I can use is to indicate on the URL itself a page. So for example, I could indicate that I want to start with demo page 4. And just in passing here, it's important to notice that I could also specify username and password credentials right on right on the URL, recognizing that that is a bit of a security implication. We don't really want to expose a username and password on the URL, but it is possible to do that. So I'm going to just change the URL and hit enter on that, and of course that's going to refresh the page, and you'll notice that this time, even though I have a start page set via the DataHub WebView configuration tab, because I have now indicated in the URL a start page, that start page, this circular gauge demo page is actually the demo 4 page. This is the one that renders initially. Both those first two techniques actually use the settings within the DataHub WebView.asp page. So you'll notice that right here, that's the page that I'm actually navigating to in my URL. And let me just start by opening that page up. And I'll drag my screen over here so you can see it. This block of code right there sets a local variable called init params by actually grabbing the settings from the DataHub WebView configuration panel, as well as by grabbing what was specified in the URL. And that init params variable is now used down here, and that information is actually passed into DataHub WebView. Well, there's other ways that I can actually manipulate this, but in essence, it's the same as doing something like that. So you'll notice that if I now choose to save this page, and I have suffixed an additional argument, page equals cogent / demo 9, to the back end of that init params. Now when I refresh this page, even though I have a start page set in the DataHub WebView configuration, even though I have specified a page argument on my URL, it's actually opening demo page number 9. Well, the problem with each of those approaches is that they actually affect all users. There's nothing in here that's user specific. So with the advent of DataHub WebView version 1.4, we actually of course have script capability, and one of the things that we can do is use the application user changed event to provide a little bit more information and configuration control. So you'll notice that right now on the Scripts tab in design mode, there are a few pages that are available, and there is the application events.ss file. This file is coming from the server, and it's this file I am going to manipulate. And I'm not going to walk you through the code here. I'll do so instead inside my editor. So let me just jump over to the server, and I'm going to grab from the scripts folder and the Cogent subfolder, I'm going to grab the application events.ss, which is exactly this file here. So there's the actual file that I want to use, and you'll notice that if I just look at the application user changed, basically the code in here right now is just a helper stub, but it's actually not doing anything. You'll notice that it is initializing a start page variable to null. It's never actually changing that start page variable, and then it's checking to see if it is not null, then it goes and opens a page. Well, what I'm going to add is a little bit of script code that sets the start page based on the username that is being passed in as an argument to this event handler. So you can see that if the user ID is admin, it's going to open up demo 4. If the user ID is Bob, it's going to open up demo 9. If the user ID is Ken, it's going to open up something different. So I'm going to hit save on this, and I'm going to come back to my URL, back to my init params setting in DataHub WebView.asp, just to reset this, because of course I don't really want to have the settings specified everywhere. So I'm basically returning those settings to the normal one. And similarly, I'll come back and just work with the base URL. I am going to continue to use the same start page settings specified in DataHub WebView configuration, kind of as a fallback here. But let's just come and reinitialize this page again. And you will recall that when I log on as admin, it's going to take me to demo 4, and Bob was demo 9. So let's just try that. Here's the admin page. Excuse me, here's the login for admin, and you can see that it will take me to the circular gauges page. There's demo 4 loading up. And when I refresh this and try a different user account, Bob doesn't have a password, you can see that it automatically loads demo page 9, and obviously finally if I choose to sign on as Ken, it's again going to take me to a different page, in this case the employee order dashboard, which was the subject of a different blog. And then finally, just one other thing I wanted to show you was that you'll notice when I sign on as a user ID for which I have not specifically set a page, like Paul, you'll notice that it now falls back to using the start page that was configured in DataHub WebView configuration properties, which of course was the Cogent start page. So now with the advent of DataHub WebView 1.4, we have provided a much more granular way of customizing the start page based on the username.